Hey y'all. Angie, hey, how you doing? Good evening. Good evening. Long time no hear from. Long time no hear from. Hope you all are doing lovely. Love Olay. We're gonna see if we're gonna have any more. Oh, okay. Before we get started, doing a little catch up. I've been taking a little break, a much needed break. Um, and someone reached out to me today and was like, "Doc, where you at? We've been missing the updates." I decided to come on back on today to like do some quick updates because there are some things that have been going on. So we're gonna get those updates real quick. You guys have to forgive the head. I took my twist out last night and washed my head. So just know the next time I come back on here, the head will be done. The head will be done. You ain't gonna be talking about me. Um, but yeah, just like where do we even start? Where do we even start? First, let me do a check. Can you guys hear me? Do a mic check. Can y'all hear me? Cool BJ, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How art thou? I'm guessing my okay. Thank you, Andrew, for letting me know. Um, man, we oh my goodness, it's like so much that has been going on. First thing I want to say, no, I don't even know if I need to say that first. Let me jump into some of the stuff that's been going on on a national level. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the trial that has currently been going on. Actually, as of today, the jury started their deliberation today. What is going on, Neon? How art thou? How art thou? But there is a young lady by the name of um, Danielle Redlick. Danielle Redlick. And she is currently on trial for unaliving. Y'all catch that? Unaliving her husband. I'm trying to make this YouTube friendly. So she is currently on trial for unaliving her husband in 2019. Um, this is the interesting thing about this thing. Now, I need y'all to catch this, right? She was actually his stepdaughter. She was his stepdaughter first. And then he seduced and wooed her, and she later became his wife. She later became his wife. And then at the end of that story, she later ended up unaliving him, okay, um, with the knife. So I don't know if you guys have been catching up or keeping up with that. I'll definitely have to keep you guys posted on that. I'm not on my regular stream, so I can't share my screen to actually let you guys see what's going on with it. But yeah, she off her husband. So the case right now is not whether or not she actually did it; it's whether or not she is going to be found guilty of second degree versus manslaughter versus a couple other things that they have put on the table. They did offer her a um, a plea deal. They offered her a plea for with manslaughter and 10 years, if I'm not mistaken, and she turned that down. Guys, y'all have to see the story. Like it's ridiculous. Like I said, it was her stepfather first, but the plot thickens. Okay, the whole plot thickens. So it may sound like some nasty stuff, and some people say it's like some incestual stuff, and it's not because they're not blood related. But word on the curb is that what happened. What had happened was her mom was dealing with the guy, and her mom ended up with breast cancer, and she didn't have insurance, or she didn't have good insurance. So the guy ended up marrying her so that she could have access to his insurance. So technically, they were actually married about 6 months. So she wasn't staying in the house with them when they were married. She was already an adult. So her sisters and brothers, they stayed in the house with them. She wasn't actually, partaking in all that. So, the plot, there's a plot twist to it all. But long story short, he was allegedly abusive. And this guy, he used to work with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, he worked with, did he work with the Cleveland Browns? Um, he worked with some pretty well known businesses. As if I'm not mistaken, he was an attorney. Now, all I'm gonna say is, for folks that got stuff to say about other people being in some not so not so appealing situations. Now, to me, this is a not so appealing situation. I guess the people didn't have a problem with it. They were married for a long time. They had 2 kids. Um, but supposedly he was abusing her. In the midst of them being together, he actually cheated on her, and she filed for divorce. She kicked him out the house. Y'all got to check this story out. It's Danielle Redlick, and the person that she killed, her now deceased husband, is Michael Redlick. I mean, it's a Lifetime movie all by itself. Like seriously. So he cheated on her. She kicked him out. Filed for divorce. He wooed her. She ended up letting him come back in the house. Um, he allegedly has, put his paws on her a couple times. One time was to the extent that they had to go to the one of the surgeons for the Cleveland, I think it was for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They don't only deal with the players, they also deal with the other staff. They treat the other staff too. Um, and so she was referred to a plastic surgeon. So whatever he did to her, whatever strength, whatever he like dislocated and disfigured some stuff. So she had to go to a plastic surgeon for her jaw. So of course, you can't have people that are working on and for the team that has any type of domestic violence charges and things of that nature, because they will no longer have a job. So that was pretty much brushed under the rug. There is no paperwork. There are no records. There's no documentation, even though this doctor referred her to a plastic surgeon as well as a dentist because of the damage that was done. So, I mean, it was just, there are a lot of moving parts. It's like crazy. Let me check this because I don't know. My screen seemed like it may be freezing up. So let me do a check real quick. Let me check this real quick. Okay. So, what is that sitting beside? Oh, my cup. So what ended up she ended up letting them come back, and they were separated like in and out, in and out. In the meantime, in the midst of them being separated, she started going on the dating apps. Okay, so she went on something. It was called Meet and something. It wasn't Meet and Greet. It was Meet and. Now let me see if I can find the name of this dating app. Shoot, I might learn something. It was Meet. Let me see. Y'all know y'all can Google everything. Dating app, and I'm gonna put Danielle, Child Redley. It was something I had never heard before. I don't think it's something that. Huh? I can't find it. So anyway, she was on this date site, and you guys remember I told you that back in the day, part of my coaching business, I actually had a dating website. It was called Carolina Singles Mingle. And when I was doing that website, I could actually see, I saw the interactions that were going on with the people on the site, who was lying, who was like, I saw everything. Well, same thing with this situation right here, because these sites are controlled by people. So the people that own the site, that actually run the site, they actually came. They were called in to testify. When she was on there, they talked about our profile. They gave her profile name, email address. Like they put all the business out here on blast to confirm that she was actually on this dating site. So the plot thickens. Oh my goodness. So on this dating site, she hooked up with this guy named Caesar. Mm. Et tu, Brute? She hooked up with a guy on there named Caesar, right? And Caesar was Hispanic. And the husband, he was a little biased, and he didn't like Espanol. He didn't like this guy. He don't, he had, some little problems with different people of different type of colors and nationalities. We just gonna say, and so he didn't like Caesar. And Caesar is, I was about to say was, but Caesar's still here. Caesar is, he's a master in jujitsu, right? So I don't remember. The husband was like being nosy. Now, let me remind y'all, the husband has cheated on her. He like full blown cheated on her. She caught him. Oh my goodness. The plot thickens a little bit more. Okay, listen, I shouldn't even be getting into this trial like this, but it's like that crazy. So he also has some ED problems, okay? And I'm not talking about emotionally delayed or anything like that. No, he had ED, he had erectile dysfunction issues. So it's like, you really going out cheating on you? Okay, you know what? Lord have mercy. Heal the land, you got to check. I'm going to show y'all a little clip of it. So he had erectile dysfunction issues, and he going around just spreading his little wild oats like he got it going on. So he had it to the point where, oh my goodness, it's just so much. It's so much. So um, he was taking medication. The medication wasn't working. They were giving him all kinds of testosterone. And so it finally got to the point where she called him out, like, babe, like, what's going on? Like, we hadn't been getting it in. We ain't been touching each other. We ain't been doing that. And it's been like months and months and months. And so he finally said, babe, it's not you, it's me. Y'all know that line. It's not you. It's not you. It's me. Um, I got a little problem. Got a little problem. And so he told her what the problem was. And she was like, well, babe, that's all you had to say. We can work on this together. We are in this together. Hallelujah. So he ended up going to another doctor. And what happened at that point is they put him on injections. They put him on I'm talking about steroids, testosterone injections. Um, Now, y'all know the more testosterone you have, things start to change. And he had some other stuff going on. So he's taking all type of testosterone over here, taking all type of supplements. He got all this stuff going on. And basically, they didn't show like any illegal roids, but it seemed like he was having a bit of roid rage, like steroid rage. Like he was just having these rages or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. Um, let me just show y'all a little clip, and I'm gonna just have to show it from my phone because it's too much. So this guy, I think he died. He was 65. She's like 48 now. He was like 20 years older than her. And again, this was her stepdad. I need y'all to get that part. This was her stepdad. Okay, she was off in college working, doing her thing, and mom got sick or whatever, and mom died, and she's still off doing her thing, and he convinced her to come and move in with him to help him take care of her siblings because they were staying with him, and she did. And then slowly but surely, he started showing up at her job. He started, acting like he had a little thing for, writing a little love letters. Do you like me? Check yes or no. And eventually, she said he started showing her things, introducing her to things and places she has never been introduced to, places she has never been. And he wooed her. He wooed her. And yeah, so her and her stepdad got married. Would you look at that? Okay, so let me give y'all, child. So, let me see. Let me see if I can give y'all a quick. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen right here. So I'm gonna show y'all the quick video because this is part of her testimony. This was from yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and she broke the story down about how she ended up marrying her stepdad. Now I'm saying people talk about a lot of things out here in these streets, but there are some things like we be looking at the wrong stuff. Like you looking at what these folks got going on, and it's not illegal. I mean, they are not blood related, so I am not here to judge. Okay, but y'all know. Okay, let me just play this thing, y'all. Let me turn this up. It's like 1996. I was about 22, 23 years old. This is her.
What are the circumstances of you meeting him?
Well, I actually met him through my mother. He and I came together under kind of unique circumstances, but prior to us, he was actually dating my mother.
Was that the extent of the relationship that he had with your mother, dating?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Did they go beyond dating?
Yes. They had a kind of spontaneous marriage. Yes. She had.
When did they get married?
I think that was in 97.
So was Michael your stepfather at one point?
Hold up, y'all. I guess technically. Not technically. He was your stepdaddy. That's your pappy.
How long were they married?
Just under. Well, they were only married, I think, 6 months. They were together a couple years.
So they were together for a couple of years?
Yes.
How old were you during that time?
22, 23 years old.
What's the age difference between you and Mr. Redlick?
21 years.
So how do we go from stepdad to something else?
Well, my mother and my stepfather had split up after 20 years, and my mom met Michael, and they started dating. And she discovered shortly after they were dating that she had an aggressive stage 4 breast cancer, and she only had so long to live, and so they got married in Vegas, and within 3 to 6 months after that, she passed away. And so they had been living at home together with my 2 younger siblings. I'm the oldest of 5, actually.
What's the age difference between you and your siblings?
I think the youngest would be 13, so I was like 25 at that point.
So how much older than your sisters are you?
At least a decade, but there's 5 of us, so they fall all in between.
But you're the oldest?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can continue explaining
yeah,
how
she's only 48. I want to see if I can get this up close so y'all can see her. This is how she's aged since she's been locked up. So after 48. My mother passed, the 2 younger children were in high school. my younger brother and sister, and they were living in the home with Michael and my mother. And so after she passed, my younger brother went to live with my stepfather, back with him, and asked me if I wanted to move in, that he would continue to rent the home that they were renting, so that my sister could at least finish another year of high school where she was. And so I agreed. And I was working and going to school at the time. And that's kind of how things got started. We were just...
What was he doing? What was his employment at that time?
I think he was working for the Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers at that point.
Basketball franchise?
Yes, but then switched over to the Cleveland Browns.
A football franchise?
Yes.
In Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio.
Correct, in Cleveland.
Okay. So did you move into the home?
I did.
How does it progress from there?
Well, I mean, we were just kind of handling the domestic duties with the kids, sort of, and I was working, and he was encouraging me professionally, and sort of became friendly. Hey, was very Tori. supportive, and, there was time of loss for both of us, and we sort of bonded. And eventually, it turned into a romantic relationship. I was going to school and working part-time at one point, or at that time, and he started coming up to the place that I worked. I was a bartender at night, so he started coming up to all the shifts that I was working and just visiting with me. And after that, he started inviting me to do more things together. And we sort of, and I grew to enjoy it. And he was kind of worldly and smart, so these are new and exciting things for me. So at some point, it turned into a romantic relationship.
You said that he was encouraging you.
I'm just gonna stop it. So y'all tell me what y'all think, Tori. Let me girl. That's what I'm telling y'all. It's, people are focusing on a lot of stuff, and it's like some crazy stuff going on. I'm like, okay, and nobody don't say throw the book at her. You don't know the story. That's right. He wanted some color purple action. He wanted somebody to come and help him take care of those kids. But the question is, when you were with that mom, did you already have your eyes on her? Was there already something going on between them before the mom had passed? We'll never know. We'll never know because the mom went so quick. But the thing is, y'all, Neon, Douglas, when you hear it, you're probably going to say throw a book at her. So they got into this altercation. I'll give y'all a bit more on it. They got into this altercation one night. I think it was like January the 11th. And so this was right after he found out about Caesar. Okay. He was not feeling that thing with Caesar, y'all. Y'all hear me? When he found out about Caesar, we ain't talking about Julius either. When he found out about Caesar, that was a mother flipping problem. Okay. So he was like, oh, so yeah, he made some little comment like, she came home late or something. He was like, well, you better have a darn good excuse or good lie for why you coming home late. It was probably out with Caesar. And she was like, yes, I was. But she wasn't. She was lying. He was trying to be funny. She was trying to be funny back with him. So, I mean, they done got into this altercation earlier. She done egged his car, got eggs all over the sidewalk. I mean, they just got a whole mess going on. This goes to show y'all that just because people have money, that don't mean that they don't have the buffoonery and the shenanigans going on. Because they had a lot of buffoonery and a whole lot of shenanigans. And y'all never heard about this on TMZ. You never heard about this on the news because they pick and choose who they want to go and put this foolishness out on. Now, I definitely think all this stuff that was going on was newsworthy. I mean, for the nosy people, but hey, who am I? So they got into this altercation. This particular time, like, the kids were usually home, so they kind of got in the middle of stuff. This particular day, he was like, oh, what are you going to do now? The kids aren't here. So long story short, they got into it. He grabbed her. He was like smothering her, had her face pushed against the counter, the stove, like the island with the stove, and he had her face pushed against it. He's smothering her. And in the midst of all that, he won't let go. Sister goes and she grabs her hand. Now, this man is 6'1" and like 260 something pounds, somewhere up in there, 240, 265. And y'all see what she looked like. And she was smaller than that. So she reached and in that drawer, and she pulled out the first knife she could find, and she stabbed him. She stabbed him in the shoulder. One time. One time. It was a one hit quitter. She only stabbed him one time, but that one time was the right time. And when she stabbed him, she said she still had the maneuver or whatever. And I think when she stabbed him, she pulled the knife back out. Now, y'all know, if you go in and trying to stab somebody to kill them, you're not stabbing people in the shoulder. I'm just saying, but that's my opinion now. But who am I? I mean, I don't go around stabbing people. But she stabbed him in the shoulder. And when she got a chance to get away, she got away. She ran in the bathroom, in the water closet, in the toilet closet, and she locked the door. Okay, let me speak on that real quick. First of all, I've been seeing people in the chat on different, because I watch this online crime, and they're like, what is a toilet closet? We ain't gonna act like we don't know what a toilet room is, what the water closet is. We're gonna keep on moving on that. I just felt like I need to say that. But he followed her to the bathroom, and I guess he didn't know his own strength. He didn't know what was going on with his body. Now, mind you, he did not call 911. After she stabbed him, he did not call 911. She stayed in the bathroom until he got quiet and she didn't hear any more noise. So she didn't know if he was gone. She didn't know what was going on with him. When she came out, she said she saw a blood trail from outside the bathroom door. She followed the blood trail. She found him on the floor in the living room. Y'all, he was gone. He was unalive. Okay? He was unalive. He wasn't yet alive. He was unalive. Like, just like that. Okay? Now, according to the medical examiner, he technically, let me help y'all understand what happened. Because you're thinking, how in the world did a stab in the shoulder result in him dying? The way that she stabbed him, unbeknownst to her, it punctured, it like went some kind of way, like it's a freak of nature, it punctured his lung. So he basically bled out immediately. According to the medical examiner initially, she said he was dead within the first 5 to 6 minutes. Now, when she got on the stand, she changed it and said she didn't know how long, and then she said maybe 15 minutes. But either way, he bled out. Just like that from being stabbed in the shoulder, like right under the armpit. She got him up in there. He died. Oh, I didn't mean to say that word. He was unalive. He was unalive. Yeah. Then the plot thickens. So she goes and she realizes that he is unalive. He's not here anymore. So she panics. Boom, boom. How you doing, lady? How you doing? How you doing? So she panics, right? And she goes, and I don't know what she called herself doing. She said she tried to do CPR, but she didn't know what she was doing. She might have did a and called it a day. I don't know what it was because the medical examiner said nobody tried CPR on him. I don't know what she had going on to listen to her because she sounded very credible. But yeah, the CPR, whatever she had going on, didn't work. And by the time she came out from the bathroom, I mean he was already gone anyway. But but y'all listen. She tried to call 911, right? And instead of dialing nine, she dialed 911, 911. Okay? 911, 911. She called it twice. I don't know what she had going on. I'm saying she was in a panic. So, of course, the call didn't go through because the number is not 911, 911. It ain't going through. So, when the thing, oh, let me backtrack. Even when before they got to the altercation, her husband took her phone. Let me even go back before that. She went to McDonald's, got a little burger. He came, took a burger, took a bite of it, spit it in the face. Boom, y'all! It was just a mess. It was a whole mess. What's going on, South Cat? What's going on? Y'all, it was a mess. It was a whole mess. So she dialed 911, 911. Call didn't go through. Let me tell y'all something. This is where the plot thickens. This is what I need y'all to understand. Y'all got to check out this trial, even though they're in deliberation today. Y'all, she sat there, I cliff, oh God, and she waited 11 hours before she got 911 on that phone. Now, before I continue on with this story, I want to see what y'all think about this. What do y'all think? Someone please call 911. 911 was not called for 11 hours. Okay, now in the midst of all this, she done cleaned up a little bit. She tried to clean up some of the stuff. It was just blood everywhere. It was like Armageddon all around that piece. It was just, it was god awful. The people from the dating site app said that she was on the dating app looking at Caesar and Julio and Jesus and everybody else on the dating app. I don't know. That's what the people said. She wanted to make sure he was unalive. Held the land that. That's what the people in the chat been saying. Now she wanted to make sure that there was no way he could come back. So she waited. She waited 11 hours. That happened that evening. She called that next morning. Oh, but the plot thickens. Y'all, hold on. I might need to turn my light on because I'm about to be too dark for y'all to see me on this camera. Hold up. Let me get my shoe. Hold up. Okay. So, let me get comfortable again. Okay, so these devilish pillars. Okay, so the plot thickens, right? So she gets now. Oh, hold on. Before she called 911, she was so traumatized. She was in this panic. Sister girl got on the phone and she Googled. She got on Google, y'all, and she Googled how to unalive herself by doing this. Okay? She went and got instructions on how to unalive herself by doing this. And she tried to do it. So she did this, to herself. And then she called 911. Then she called 911. So he laying out there gone. Like he gone. Now she done, sliced herself up real good. And she bleeding out. And now you calling 911 and now you telling the people, y'all, plot thickens. She tell the people that she found her husband on the floor, and she said the man had a heart attack. I be done. And then she said that he stabbed himself. I don't know. Let me let y'all hear the 911 call, y'all. Let me. I don't know if it's gonna come across clear, but she said the man stabbed himself and then he had a heart attack like that, and it happened last night. And so the 911 operator like, wait a minute now. So you saying last night, like last night? And she's like, yeah, it happened last night. He stabbed himself, and the lady's like, he stabbed himself where? And she's like in the shoulder. And I'm listening at this woman's voice, and I'm like, do you know how hard it is to try to stab yourself in the shoulder to the point where I guess she didn't think she would inflict bodily harm. Neon, it is a lifetime. I clear for God, it's a lifetime movie. Oh my gosh. So then she was like, and oh yeah, I try to unalive myself too. I need help. So the paramedics don't really know what's going on. They know that there's a man down. She's saying that she said he could be dead. It's a possibility that he could be dead. She didn't know for sure. It's a possibility that he could be dead. So they don't know what they coming into, right? So they get there. She all half unalive. Um, he on the floor. Big dude. His shirt off, and she done took his shirt off in the midst of everything because she was trying to help him be unalive. Um, they still, they wrestling with the fact. Wait a minute, now she said this man been here since last night. They asking her what's going on. They got two kids. Don't forget I told y'all they got two kids together. Now one of the little boy was like 7 years old. I think the girl was a teenager. They off at somebody else's house. So they got all kinds of mayhem and foolishness going on up in here, but he's still unalive on the floor. And so they asking her a couple questions. Y'all know she ain't in her right mind. Now, here's the thing. You gonna ask her all these questions and she like half unalive. What? Okay, so they gotta take her to the hospital. So they Baker Act her, right? Okay, for those of y'all that don't know what Baker Act was, now we talked about this with the Amber and Johnny Depp thing, but in case you weren't a part of that conversation, the Baker Act is, I'm not doing it now, but that was my job. So if you are a danger or threat to yourself and or others, danger of threat or harm to yourself and or others, then we are going to Baker Act you. Baker Act means that that is an involuntary hospital, well, involuntary psychiatric hospital admission. You don't have no say so in it. So they Baker acted her. So they kept her at the hospital. They put her. She ended up going to a little psychiatric facility for a few days. So while she's at the facility, she's talking to the people there. Oh my! These are the days of our cul-de-sac life. I stay in the cul-de-sac. Y'all. So she's talking to, one of the mental health technicians. Y'all, he come on the stand. This dude coming up there looking like the black version of the dude. What's the dude on Popeye that was like his arch enemy? The big dude, beard, um, bald head. Neon ain't talking about you. The big dude. I can't remember what his name is, but he was the big dude. It wasn't Popeye. It was another guy. But he came on the stand looking like him. Y'all, this mess. Oh my God, y'all. Let me see if I can find this 911 call real quick. When I tell I've been on this trial like every day. I'm getting my work done. Hold on, I don't want nobody to say I won't get my work done, but I got this stuff playing, and every now and again I got to go. Brutus, that was his name. Hold up. I said, let me give you. Hold up. First, I need to learn how to spell. How about that? Um. Okay. Okay. Him. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Hildeland. Can y'all see that? Hold up. Where the camera at? Him. He came on looking like him. Okay. And then he came with this little soft, like Mike Tyson voice. Y'all, I mean, I can't make this stuff up. It was cute. Now, don't get me wrong. But it was just watching the comments and all that stuff. So, oh my goodness. Let me see if I can find this. And the closing argument, y'all, the closing arguments were like crazy. It's, child, hold on. Let me find this 911 call first. Child, hold on, child. It was so much. It's so much to keep up with. Um. Okay.
New details about the widow accused of stabbing and killing her husband, who was a UCF executive. New at 4, we are hearing the 911 call she made to Winter Park Police. Officers say she
Hold up.
until 11 hours after she's accused of attacking her husband. News 6's Nadine Yanis continues to follow this murder investigation. She joins us now live. And Nadine, her story just did not match what detectives eventually discovered.
Not at all, Ginger. At times you're going to hear Danielle Redlick in this phone call crying and really uncertain of the story that she wanted to tell dispatchers, saying that first her husband had a heart attack and died, and then that he stabbed himself. But police say that she was the one who killed him, and it wasn't until the next morning that she made this phone call for help.
Because he's been, he's stiff and he's, I didn't wonder he might have had a heart attack. I don't know.
From the first few seconds after she dialed 911, Danielle Redlick seemed uncertain of the story she was going to stick to. After her husband Michael Redlick's murder, she's now being charged with.
Okay. Did you just find him? No, actually. It happened last night.
Not calling police until the next morning.
We had altercation, and he stabbed himself, and I ran into the bathroom, and then when I came out, I trying to help him, and I saw he was just lying in blood.
And what time do you think you all had this altercation and he stabbed himself?
I think it started around 10:30. He was actually choking me and trying to suffocate me first. I actually went for the knife, and he was screaming about, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Stab me? And he grabbed it. And that's when he did it. He made a motion, and I ran out of the room. because I'm on probation. I was scared to death.
Which is why she told dispatchers she waited 11 hours before calling for help. Police getting there to find, they say, evidence of bleach and blood cleaned up. The medical examiner ruling there was no way
Here's the guy.
stabbed himself.
The medical examiner says that the victim would have bled out within 5 to 6 minutes.
Redlick now emotionless as she faced a judge on her murder charges today. And so this was a more than 7-minute 911 call. At 5 o'clock, we're going to hear
What
more
y'all
of
think?
what Danielle Redlick said happened inside this wealthy Winter Park home. That and my story in about an hour. Ginger, back to you.
Nadia and Giannis reporting live. Nadia, thank you.
Today,
So
we're getting a look at new evidence showing the relationship between a woman and her husband, who she's accused of murdering. Prosecutors say Danielle Redlick stabbed Michael Redlick to death in their Winter Park home in January.
News 6's Vanessa Ariza has been digging into the dozens of pieces of new evidence. She joins us now live in studio. So, Vanessa, what are these documents revealing? Lisa, there are numerous video clips showing the inside of the home and the disarray it was found in by detectives, along with 911 calls, pictures of Danielle's journal, and emails between her husband and a woman he reportedly had an affair with. We are getting an inside look at the Winter Park home where 65-year-old Michael Redlick was found the morning of January 12th.
I'm trying to get this clear off, y'all.
I don't know. I think my husband's deceased. There's a tragedy at my home.
Redlick's wife, Danielle, made the 911 call, but not after 11 hours had already passed.
Did you just find him?
No, actually, it happened last night.
It happened last night.
Correct.
She claimed her husband may have suffered a heart attack, but then changed her story.
He was not okay last night. We had altercation, and he stabbed himself, and I ran into the bathroom, and then when I came out, I tried to help him, and I saw he was lying in blood.
Inside the home, detectives found a mound of towels, bloodied and near a 5-gallon bucket with dirtied water. Bloodied footprints were present in the kitchen, along with a knife near the doorway, and 2 in the sink, all of them containing blood marks. Photos of Danielle were taken outside the home. The pictures showed wounds to her wrists and blood on her neck and feet. She was taken to a local hospital where she was questioned by detectives.
Last year, he basically cheated on me, and it was a big, long, drawn-out thing, and we finally came around to living together again and possibly trying to work it through, but I think it really wasn't happening.
It was a text from another man, Danielle said, started an argument between the two the night before. The next morning, detectives were at the home, beginning the investigation that continues today. Some of this discovery include phone interviews with friends and
Okay,
family.
y'all tell me what y'all think. Because I'm telling y'all, I watched the trial, and like I said, they did the closing arguments today. The defense, prosecution, everybody did their closing arguments today, so the jury was sent to deliberate today. And right now, we are on verdict watch. Let me make sure nothing has changed. Let me make sure. Let me make sure before I tell y'all the wrong thing. We are on verdict watch. Ah, shoot. But so many things she might have gotten away with it if she ran to the neighbor's house and stuck to the story of him holding her down. And here's the thing, Hill, I honestly believe that it was self defense, like I really do. But then I also realized, and I know people are like, well, she did this stuff, so she's guilty. I do believe that she panicked. All of her actions are so irrational that it can't be anything but her panicking. People say she tried to cover it up. She did clean up a little bit. She was like, it was my husband's blood, so I'm cleaning up my husband's blood. But she didn't clean up half of the blood. She didn't clean up half of it. She didn't move the knife. The knife was still where it was at. She left all the bloody towels, bloody t-shirt. Like, she left everything. She was just putting stuff in piles and cleaning and throwing them in piles. So it wasn't like she was getting rid of the evidence. It was also said that they got a big lake, like, right in front of their house, so she could have, like, threw the stuff. Probably could have got somebody to help her get him in the lake. Ain't no telling. But it was like so many things. So it's like if she's trying to cover up what she did, like it never happened, then she wouldn't have left all that stuff there, because her leaving the stuff, like, she was incriminating herself by leaving the stuff. I think it was it was panic. It was, and then they asked her, what was the point of her trying to unalive herself. Whenever this stuff, you know, before she called 911, she said she thought about her kids, and you heard on that call said she was on probation, and you know she had her own stuff going on, child, and then coming to the realization because, and this is what I was trying to tell people before. The only thing that would make sense to me, and y'all tell me what y'all think. I know y'all ain't caught up with it, but just from what you hearing, I feel like she said because the guy he had known heart disease and he was taking all this testosterone and all these other supplements and stuff like that to get pumped and all that stuff. He might have been taking super pump. I don't know. He was taking everything. They showed like a bunch of stuff that he had been taking, and he was alcoholic. So with him having heart disease and that the medical record showed that the doctor told him like he was a step away from a heart attack, she was hoping against hope that because she stabbed him, not hoping that a heart attack, you know, that he killed him, she's hoping that, okay, maybe the stab that I didn't kill him. Maybe he had a heart attack when I stabbed him. And that's what killed him. It couldn't have been me simply stabbing him in the shoulder that killed him. That's just not possible. That's not a possibility. And that's what I'm thinking. She was trying to rationalize stuff in her mind. And I know it may not make sense, but we're talking about somebody that has reached a level at this point of just being completely irrational. I'm thinking in her mind, she was convincing herself, she was hoping against hope that a heart attack was what actually killed him and not that stab wound to the shoulder. Because again, who believes or who knows, or people like, she had to know because you're ticklish in that spot. And if you're ticklish in that spot, then you know that if you stab somebody there, then that's going to kill them. Shoot, I didn't know that. I ain't even going with what they said with that, but I'm just saying, I didn't know that it was possible to stab somebody um, in the shoulder or under the arm and kill them. But then again, to me, that goes to the position that he had her in. Because had he not been over her, holding her, then it wouldn't have been possible. And that's what I was, that's what I'm thinking about. Like, in order for her to come down, like he was definitely over her. He was definitely over her, and that seemed like that's the only body part that she could get. And for it to come down, like, and it was a long knife, y'all. It was really long. It was really long. You say you saw that in the Steven Seagal movie, girl, child, let me tell you. I didn't know. Ain't no, ain't no. So I'm just sitting here, and this is like her daughter pretty much turned on. She had text messages of her and her kids. They were trying to help sneak her in the house, help sneak her out the house. They would let her know when the guy had done dropped, like fell out drunk, so she can come in the house. It was just a lot of stuff. It seemed like they were scared of him too. When he was gone, they were like pouring his alcohol out so he couldn't get his alcohol. And it was just a lot of stuff. And people were like, well, there's no proof. She has no proof that he actually did this stuff to her. And I'm like, she did have one witness that actually saw her with a black eye. And even though she tried to hide it, the witness saw it. Um, she didn't do an Amber and try to go and tell the paparazzi, here, I'm right here. And that's another thing, because she could have easily went to the paparazzi. Like I told y'all before, and even, like she said in her testimony, this guy, he worked for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He worked for the Cleveland Browns. So this is definitely newsworthy. She could have got the paparazzi on this real quick. TMZ would have loved this story. So my thing is, and then they try to say that it was about money. Well, he ended up losing his job whenever they got new management. The last job, like when this stuff happened, he was like, he had some money situations going on, and that's why he was trying to come back home, and that's why she let him come back home, because he had these money things going on. So it wasn't like, people like it was all about the money. It's just a whole lot of going on, but it's a lot of twists and turns. And I can admit that initially, when I started watching it, I'm like, oh, she just is guilty. She guilty as I don't know what. Basically, mom, what's going on? She guilty as I don't know what. Like, that's what, when I'm seeing this stuff, I'm like, oh, she cleaning up blood, and she doing this and she doing that. Oh, she wanted him unalive so she can go and be with Caesar. She wanted Caesar. That's what it was all about. She didn't care about that man. She wanted Caesar. Caesar was young and had it going on, and he knew jujitsu, and Michael didn't know nothing about jujitsu, and he had erectile dysfunction, and Caesar had it going on. So she was going to get her a new Caesar. Like that. That's what I'm thinking. initially, and then when I started listening to it, when I actually heard her testimony, because she testified, and usually in a situation like this, you don't have people testifying, but she got up there and just finished working in my. That's what I've been doing all week, child, and I'm all broke out, bit up, child. There go one of the bites right there, face all bit up. I mean, just bit up, y'all. Just yeah, but ain't nothing like working outside. But it was just a lot. Now you got me itching, basic mom. See, I've been doing good. It was just a lot. It was a lot going on, and I'm like, yo, it. Oh my goodness, it was. Oh, so yeah, you had the daughter. The son was trying to take up for the mom. The daughter was mad. The daughter is mad with the mom because the mom didn't tell her what happened, and of course the daughter sided with dad. So the daughter had one story whenever she was talking to the police back in 2019 when this happened. But now that she's mad with her mom, she feel like her mom lied to her and didn't tell her exactly what happened with her dad. She got up on that stand and she told a whole other story. She told a whole other story. And so the defense team tried to impeach her on the stand, and the judge is the sister in this thing. Now, the judge wouldn't allow them to impeach the daughter's testimony because the defense didn't lay the foundation for that impeachment to take place. They were supposed to give her a chance to go back and fix what she said before they moved on. They didn't do that, so the judge was like, nah, you can't put this in here. So when the prosecution objected, that objection was sustained, and they went over it like 3 or 4 times, even again today. Um, but yeah, because she had told the detective some things, and it was just it was a lot of a whole lot of. So she basically flipped on her mom. Then they played some of her calls from inside the jail, and she did what inmates do. You know what I'm saying? When you know, you know certain phone calls she had on her line, and when she didn't want them all up in her business, you know, she went and got with somebody else. And hey, let me get your pen. I trade you some noodles. I trade you some noodles for your pen number. I got these noodles over here. I got these hot and spicy noodles. So I'm playing, but I'm really not. I got some stamps. So she was able to get somebody named Connie. And y'all, they were putting everybody's number out there. They put the number, they put the pin number, they put everybody's cell phone. They told everything, and I think they did it intentionally. Um, so she went and she was talking to her sister on there. And she was talking about the case. So she felt like because she was doing it on Connie's pen, on Connie's line, that they weren't going to be able to track what she said and who she talked to, or whatever. But they did. Got to be quicker than that. Got to be quicker than that. So they had someone from the jail come and he was monitoring the phone calls, and he went through all of the phone calls and found that there was a nexus there, and once he identified that nexus, then he was able to provide that to law enforcement to show, yep, she was talking to these people at this time, and she identified herself as this, and this is what was going on, and here go the phone calls, and here she is saying that this lawyer told her to do this, and this lawyer told her to do that. This lawyer said it wasn't self defense. This lawyer said it was. She, I mean, they played it. They put it all out there. They now, now, now. The reality of all of it is, even though even though they're putting this stuff out there, the burden of proof is on the state. It's not her attorneys. They don't have to really prove anything. The burden of proof is on the state. So they have to prove that she acted with malice. That what she did was basically intentional. They can't say that it was premeditated. Unaliving one is not on the table. Okay, they're going for unaliving two. Okay, and like I said, they offered her manslaughter before that. She turned that down. So they have unaliving two on the table, manslaughter. Um, I can't even think of what the other ones are, but it's like whether or not she did it intentionally, whether or not she did it with a weapon. I cannot think of the name of the charges right now, but It's like all this stuff out here. And to be honest with you, they didn't prove, I personally, I don't think that they proved that her intent from the beginning was to unalive her husband. And keep in mind, they were still married. They were still married. She filed for divorce, but she never followed through because he came and he wooed her and got her to let him back into the house because she was trying to get him served. And she actually had the server come while he was over there because he was avoiding the server. So they went and she wooed him with the do. So I guess that erectile dysfunction, it didn't dysfunction that night because they were able to do the do. And after they got finished doing the do, then the people showed up with the papers trying to serve him. And he like, baby, I love you, baby, I won't cheat again, baby, baby, baby. Come on, it's me, hey, baby, baby. Oh, baby. And he wooed her, and she let him come on back. She let him come on back, and she told the people that he wasn't there, even though they saw his car parked out in front, so they knew she was lying. They knew that the man was there, but they went about their business. They said, now, if you want to stay in this mess, then you stay in this mess. Don't call us no more. So she was still in this mess to this day. To this day. And that's one of the things that she was saying on the phone. She said, I should have got divorced. I should have divorced him. I should have went ahead and followed through with the divorce. Hindsight is always 2020. Hindsight is definitely 2020. So I'm only giving y'all a quarter of this story because it is so much that went on. And I'm telling it like it's not a real story, but it is a real story. It's a real story. And oh my gosh, on top of that, we ain't gonna talk the prosecutor. That's a whole other story. I'm gonna have to bring this back to y'all whenever I get on my regular streams. So I can show y'all some of the buffoonery that was going on. But so yeah, we got the deliberations going on right now, and we are going to see the judge gave the jury their instructions, what they're able to look at, what they should be paying attention to, what they shouldn't be paying attention to. Oh, hold on, but there's more. Then one of the jurors, in the midst of all the buffoonery, the juror went to sleep. Okay, so I'm telling y'all that the jury member sleep for a minute, right? And she just sitting there like this. Now the people in the different chats, they don't know what she's looking at. They think she just being she ain't paying attention to what they saying. She ain't paying attention to the testimony. Oh, sister girl knew exactly what she was doing. You heard me? She was sitting. She let them go through all their little stuff that they were looking at, and she finally said, let's go ahead and do this. She was like, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Because we got a juror over here asleep. Now, let me tell you what we're going to do about that. And I guess that she hadn't talked about it with the attorneys. And it was like, I guess they saw him sleep one time. She was like, no, I saw him sleep 3 or 4 times. And this time, when he was asleep, when they were giving technical evidence on this, and he was asleep when they were giving technical such and such on that, Tori, I mean, that joker was sleep, okay? And then, hold on, hold on. So she said, so I'm inclined to, I was going to replace him with juror number one. Check this out. Let me tell you how sleep this sister is. I said, I was going to replace him with juror number one. But I had to change my mind on that because when I looked over, juror number one had them fell asleep too. I said, sister girl. She said juror number one had done dozed off too. She said, so both of them got to go. I don't know who we got left. She said, because they only got 6 jurors. It's not 12. In Florida, in this particular case, it's 6 jurors, okay? And they got these alternates. Now you got the alternate sleep. You got the main jurors, but you got the alternate sleeping on the job too. Okay? So then she was like, so I'm inclined. I guess we're gonna have to go with juror number 2. And hopefully nobody else go to sleep. Let me see if I can find a clip of that. Y'all, I lost it. You hear me? I straight lost it. I know they didn't put in all this time or whatever, but you went to sleep, honey. Tori, it's on. You can find it on Law and Crime. Just put in Daniel. Hold up. Danielle Redlick. Girl, when I tell you Judge watched him. Judge said she had her glasses on. Y'all ain't got my glasses with me right now. Y'all know I show you how you did. She was looking over the glasses. And at one point, you saw her doing this. Like, I see you, Jigger. Jigger, you ain't slick. Oh, Lord. Hold on. Juror, sleep. Hold on. Sleep during trial. Let me see if that'll give it to me. Let me see. Oh, that's not, I'm gonna have to go back and find that clip, but it was a mess. Hold on, let me see. Daniel Redlick, juror. Juror. Oh, I have to go through the whole thing. I need to be on my other one. But yeah, that juror went to sleep. That judge was not having that. So y'all go check that out. So if you go to Court TV and stuff like that is playing it too. But if you go to Law and Crime Network on Tory, can y'all see that? That light, the light. Step away from the light, Carolyn. Florida versus Danielle Ridley. So yeah, check that out. Okay. Oh, goodness. So that was one of the first things. Okay, now let's get back to this mess. Let me see what my time is. Let's get back to this mess. Because y'all know it's been about a week and some change since I was able to catch y'all up on this stuff. This mess with old Amber Waves of Green and Johnny Depp. Because listen here, these attorneys, we saw that Elaine, honestly, Elaine had them went and started doing all these tours or whatever. But Miss Amber, after she has lost this defamation case, the judge told her to shut her mouth. Judge told her to shut her mouth with an F. Shut your mouth. Stop talking about this man and let him go about his business. She come out here. Now I guess Amber didn't like the way Elaine was doing the interviews. Auntie wasn't doing the interviews right. And I was also told, little Bird told me that something happened with Elaine and they hushed her. They muted Elaine. They muted Auntie Elaine. That's why she had to hush for a minute. So, you catch the info about it. No. I don't know about the man from Haiti. You're going to have to fill me in. Still adding the mess. Yes. So Amber coming out and she doing her own interview. She said she don't want Auntie Elaine speaking for her no more. She coming out doing her own interviews. Y'all, she doing the same thing that she got to pay $10 million for right now. Same thing. Let me tell you, I gotta put it in a video by itself, but if you want to know, if you want to see what a true narcissist looks like and sounds like, y'all have to see. They're gonna play the full thing tomorrow. They just been giving us little clips. I gotta play one of them. I'm like, if you don't go and sit your tail down somewhere, okay? You're doing too much. Okay? You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You said you want to go about your business and live your life. Let that man go and make his music over in the UK and do whatever he's doing. If him and Kate Spade want to go back and get together, then let them do what they do. And you go and sit down somewhere. You go and get you some therapy. Okay? Go and get you some therapy. We need you to get some rational emotive therapy. behavior therapy, like right now. Not right now, but right now. Let me show you. I gotta give y'all a child. Just when you thought it was safe. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now you gotta hear. I'm like, oh. And I'm so glad here. I'm so glad it didn't take it easy on her, because that's what everybody's been going. They've been tiptoeing around it. Nobody wants to say that she lied, because they don't want to say, we get into this. Oh no, we don't want to say that women lie. I'm gonna say it. Dr. Rogers gonna say it on here. Life coach, therapist, whatever you want to call me. Women lie. Okay, men lie too. Don't get me wrong. There's some lying jokers too, but women lie. We are not gonna sit here and act like women don't lie. We all lie. We lie like some rugs. You hear me? Let's not do that. We lie like soap. We lie. I'm just saying. That's my public service announcement. We lie. We lie. And there are a lot of us that are very manipulative. Absolutely. We will manipulate a situation. A lot of us, if we can take your child and use it against you, we use your child against you when we get pissed off with you. If you want paperwork, we'll use your probation officer against you. If you want paperwork, we'll sit there and call, not me, but we'll sit there and call. I've seen it. We'll call her. Oh, let me tell you what he's doing. He's still out there selling that stuff. But it was okay that he was selling as long as he was giving it to you. But once you find out he was cheating on you, then you go and you tell everything. That's a manipulator. We do some manipulative mess. We're not going to act like we don't. We're not going to act like we don't. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm sitting there and I'm like, we got to get out of this. And don't get me, y'all know I am all for women. But I support my men too. We're not just going to sit here and act like people don't make up stuff. I have seen it. I have lived through it. I mean, just lie for no reason at all. And convince, and I mean, lie so much they convinced they darn self that they weren't lying. I mean, just a hot mess of lies. Just... Okay, so let me give y'all a part of this song. Child. This woman sitting up here talking about, they asked her some questions. She was like, yeah, you're talking about the attorney that convinced the world that Johnny really that had scissors for fingers. Girl, what plan did you have? Just like you gaslighting on TV, like you know good and well these people don't believe that Edward Scissorhands' fingers were really scissors. Like, what in the world? What kind of BS is this? So, hey, Diva Divine, how you doing? What kind of BS is this? He took them scissor hands and cut Diva right on out the bushes. See what I'm saying? Yeah, she just playing people like they just dumb. You see what I'm saying? Just yeah, the same lawyer that convinced the world that Edward Scissorhands had scissors for fingers. Girl, if you don't go sit down, don't sit, sat your tail down somewhere. You should have sat down a long time ago. Go sat down somewhere. You should see the meme for girl. Oh my gosh, just I gotta pull part of this, y'all. Y'all thought she did some acting on that stand. Hold up. And let me tell you, that lady that was asking those questions, now she gave a disclaimer at the very beginning that her husband, who is an attorney, had worked with Johnny's team, but not for this case, but they worked with Johnny's team on something else. So she was making sure she was being transparent. So I think her husband told her, she was like, look, don't go easy on her. Like all these other news stations going easy on her. Don't go easy on her. So child, let me just, which one was this? Amber Heard Fuller's interview. Let me give y'all a piece of.
More than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
They go to theatrics. I'm gonna
How could it?
How could it?
Surreal.
You know, y'all need to see her face.
And difficult, in part, yes. This has been a long time coming. Do you stand by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse? Of course. To my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony. I think vast majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok, and the jury is not immune to that. You think the jury saw it? How could they not? I think even the most well-intentioned juror, it would have been impossible to avoid this. Every single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying, "Burn the witch," "Death to Amber." After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
She know good and darn well. Won't nobody in there for no Captain Jack Sparrow. Okay? Look, I'm back in Johnny. I don't even know who no Jack Sparrow is. Okay? I don't know nothing about no Captain Jack. What I know is that I was watching this mess, and at the beginning, you know, I'm like, Dad, Johnny, you hitting on people like that. But then when I started watching stuff, I'm like, oh no, 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 no. What is this? No, what is you doing? Like, and you got to see the real her. It didn't have nothing to do with nobody being no Captain Jack fans. Once again, this part of the gaslighting, y'all. This is part of the gaslighting. In these interviews that she's doing right now, this is part of her narcissistic injury. She has to find a way to come back and try to save face. And if you notice, she's still doing one of the same things she was doing in that trial. She knows that stuff is not relevant to her. So a lot of the stuff she's not saying, I feel, da da da, or I feel, da da. She'll say, hurt, feels like. I have to rewind it back so you can see what I'm saying. She's not taking it in. It's not hers. She's claiming somebody else stuff. You see, it's not hers. Stars, hey, how you doing? It's not hers. She's speaking in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth person because she full of bull. Okay, she is full of bull. She couldn't now. If she was a counseling client of mine, I would have to speak to her completely different. But as a coaching client, I'm gonna tell you that you full of bull. This stuff that you're doing right now, boy, look at me, child.
Josh, can you put into words how that felt? This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through. I have never felt more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human. Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
Oh, listen at this.
That's a great question.
They go to the
I wish I could say yes to that. I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. There was another trial handled dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in. In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence
It
kept
wasn't
out.
your trial. It wasn't your case.
Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury. Some evidence is admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
Yes.
I will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues. For some people, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that? Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst. But what people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that.
It really is.
This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak. But here's the thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech.
Here it goes.
It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation.
Ooh.
And that was the issue in the case.
You lied.
Yes, exactly. You can't go into the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire. We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of what that means is not just the freedom to speak.
Cut her off.
It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
But you lied.
The truth is the word. Yes. That was the issue. And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
Girl, back.
In the closing arguments, the DEP lawyer said,
let me
called your testimony.
Oh, this is where she about to talk about Edward Scissorhands thing, child. Let me take it back for a second. Okay, before I go back in this, okay. This is what I'm talking about with the gaslighting BS right here, okay? She's sitting, first of all, when the lady tried to get on her about telling the truth, first of all, she went around this Fifth Amendment, right? Okay, we're going to talk about, not even Fifth Amendment, I'm sorry, the First Amendment. We talking about free speech and all this stuff. And she said, yes, we got to go back to the free. Girl, you countersued Johnny Depp for defamation because of something that his attorney said. Does that not fall into the free speech category? See, this is the hypocritical mess. And see, she didn't address that. She skirted all around it and started talking about the Romans and the Greeks. That's where that gaslighting buffale come in at. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. She went all around the world. And I'm glad the lady kind of brought her back. Okay, you speaking truth to power. Whose truth are you speaking, and what power are you talking about? Because it sounds like you on some what you call it, the little witch trial. What you call it? I forgot what the girls. Like, what power you speaking truth to? Who power? What are we doing? What are we doing? You gaslighting your darn self. It ain't even about you gaslighting other people. You gaslighting your darn self. Let's just go back, because y'all got to hear this comment she made about this Edward Scissorhands thing.
Truth to power. The truth is the word. Yes. And that was the issue. And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
Hold on.
In the closing argument.
First thing we need to find out is who is Power, what's his phone number. We need to get Power email address. We need to get Power telephone number. We need to put the people that was on this, what is that flying on my screen? The people that was on this other thing that got all these other numbers for the prosecution, we need to get them to find out who Power is. Because whoever Power is that she's speaking truth to, he got some stories to tell. He got some explaining to do, okay? He got some explaining, okay? Because, she seemed to be telling Power everything. So we need to get with Power and see what Power got to say about this, since she's speaking to him so much. Because Lord have mercy. Something, child. Let me go on back. Let me.
It's a freedom to speak truth to power. The truth is the word. Yes. And that was the issue.
We're going to put an ATD out on Power.
And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
How much he charged you?
In the closing arguments, the DEP lawyer said, called your testimony the performance of a lifetime, and said you were acting. What do you say to that? Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
Girl, stop.
I'm the performer. I had listened to weeks of testimony.
Press. Okay. Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. That girl, says the lawyer of the client who convinced the world that he had scissors for fingers. Yeah, she is blaming Edward Scissorhands. That okay, we solved the case. That's what happened to Johnny's finger. That's exactly what happened to Johnny's finger. Edward got it. I'd be darned. He was doing more than cutting bushes with them fingers. He was cutting off fingertips. I mean, y'all. I'm done with this. You know what? We're gonna try again.
Insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, I'm a terrible actress.
You are.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The death team argued that you were the abuser, that you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it.
Gaslighting. Boom. Right there. Prime example. Right there. I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. But you see that she did not give a yes or a no on that question. Who told you to do it? Who was instigating the Amber? Power? Was Power in on that too? I didn't punch you, Johnny. It wasn't a punch. It was a hit. I hit you. I didn't punch you. I can't promise you that I won't hit you. I can't promise you that, Johnny. I cannot promise that because I get so angry. I cannot promise you that. Girl. Oh my goodness. Child. That power is a heck of a drug. I saw y'all talking about that stuff she was tooting. Yes, that power is a heck of a drug. That's the mystery number 2 is solved. That's who Power is. Y'all all right with me? Y'all all right? We solved 2 things. We figured out that Edward Scissorhands was the one that chopped off Johnny's finger, number 1. And number 2, we found out who Power was. Power is that white horse. Power. Power is that booger sugar. That is Power. Okay? That we got it. I'll be done. See, that's why I love y'all right there. See, what would I do without y'all? What would I do? Oh, have mercy. That's what this stuff that's going on right now. Like, you can't make this stuff up. Let me tell you something. Look here. Child, I ain't gonna even say that. Let me finish.
It becomes normal, as I testified to. You have to adapt.
You say you were responding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
Hey,
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited. What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation of how to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand context. But you're testifying and you're telling me today, I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is
I'm going to wind this back because I want y'all to hear how she trip up on this now. She said that whenever you are involved in this type of stuff, now she's speaking on herself. This is what I'm telling y'all. She's speaking in 3rd, 4th, and 5th person. She's not telling her story, because if she was telling her story, she would say, when all this stuff was going on, I didn't have the resources to go and do blah, 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 blah. But she says when you're in this type of situation, you don't have the resources. Then she turns around and says, like you and I do. Girl, who are you talking about? Are you talking... Who you speaking now? Is this Power in here talking again? Is it Power or Powder? I don't know which one it is. Is this Power in here talking again? Because you said you're supposed to be speaking on you, and you saying that you don't have the resources, but then you saying that you don't have the resources like you and I have. Now you jump from her to... this is the many faces of Eve. Y'all hear me? We got some disassociative stuff going on right here. And I don't know if y'all gonna catch it. I'm gonna play it. I don't know if y'all gonna catch it, but I'm sitting here like, girl, again, not what are you doing, but what is you doing? It's, let me see if y'all catch it. Listen.
Blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it. But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're talking.
Did y'all catch that? You talking about yourself. So who did you like? You jump from talking about yourself to talking about somebody else because you got the resources. So what are we saying? I gotta rewind that back. I gotta take it back because maybe I'm a little slow. It may be me. It may be me. She's talking about her, and then she jumps like she's talking about somebody else, and then she remembers, oh, I got money, so yeah. One more time.
But when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources. Started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did. As I testified on the stand about this, is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's anything but when you're living in it. But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, the victim of domestic violence. 20-second clips or the transcripts of them are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from. Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then? I'm not a lawyer. As I testified to, I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress. He says he never hit you. He never. Is that a lie? Yes, it is. What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence? I've seen firsthand how people will file rank person they depend on. Did they all come in and lie in court?
Everybody.
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as the person who sat there. When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? The answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything.
Not one time.
She did in the marriage. I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship. I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways. There's so much, I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong.
Girl, you did not say that on the stand.
I will always continue to feel like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful.
Girl, you see.
It was very, very toxic.
Oh my goodness. And then she goes on talking about how she loves Johnny. She still loves Johnny. She has so much love for Johnny. And she may. Who knows? Who knows? But this is what I wanted you guys to see. This is not the full interview. The full interview is going to be shown tomorrow. But this woman is a full-blown narcissist. Have a good one, Diva. She is a full-blown narcissist. She absolutely is. She is the prime example of a narcissist. And what she's doing right now is what I call narcissistic recovery. She's trying to go out and trying to recover from what happened to her. One of the things that she has been doing, especially during this trial, and she's been putting all this stuff out here, and her even the stories that she tells, everything is grandiose. Like it's so far out there that it was hard to believe because it was so far out there and there was nothing to corroborate her story. And now you're sitting out here on this news and you're still telling people gaslighting. You're telling people that what they saw on TV for 6 weeks is not what they actually saw. Yes, you saw me laughing and snickering. But turns around, no, I never laughed. I never snickered. I never did that. I never hit him. You never heard me say I hit him. Yes, I know you're listening to this recording where I said I hit you and I did this, but that's you're not hearing what you think you're hearing. Yeah, you saw the video of me snickering whenever I took the recording and recording him slamming cabinets, but what you saw in there is not really what you think you saw. Believe me, don't believe what you see. Don't believe what you hear. Y'all, that's what gaslighting is. And this is exactly what she has been doing on the stand. And now she's going on these interviews and she's doing a gaslighting tour. Okay, she's going to set these places on fire with all this lighting that she's doing. She's spreading gas everywhere. She about to set some places on fire. You heard me? And it, like I said, in this particular interview, the lady didn't go easy on her. She called her out on some stuff. And I'm like, I think that's what the problem was for her. People didn't want to call her out because a lot of people were scared of her. Girl, if you don't go sit your little tail down somewhere, I'm going to call you out. You better go on somewhere. You better go on now. You're going to have to show me that you can cut my tail. You better go on somewhere. You go on somewhere with all that lying now. I ain't playing with you. Go on somewhere with all that lying. it's it's like it's too much. And I'm watching, and I know you shouldn't, but even comparing the way that the trial I was just telling y'all about with Danielle Redlick, comparing her demeanor as a DV, a victim of DV, in comparison to Amber and all this booth all that she's putting out here, y'all, they are on two completely, I mean, just like two completely different people. And the thing is, oh, she's an attorney too? That would make sense. Hell, I know her husband is, but that would make sense. Um, Now, this is one of those situations. I know a lot of people don't like CNN or whatever, but boy, I wish Chris Cuomo could interview her. Boy, that would be a mess right there. He would eat her alive. I'm just saying. Um, but it's just watching them two, and you got this lady over here, Danielle. Even though she's telling her story, she's actually trying to minimize what happened between her and her husband. Like she doesn't even want to put the full story out there, the stuff that happened with them. But then you got Amber sitting up here making up whole sitcoms. I mean, she got like you doing too much. You doing too much. Sit down somewhere. So my thought is, she's saying that she doesn't. She wants to be able to move on. He has clearly moved on. Johnny is living his best life right now. Okay, he even got him a TikTok. Johnny the one that got him a TikTok. He is like bump what you heard. I'm about to live my life. Now that I got the truth out, you can do whatever you doing over there. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm about to do me. Okay. You just do you. I'ma do me. Like that's where Johnny at right now. He's like, go ahead and be crazy over there. They ain't got nothing to do with me. But her, I think she's gonna keep doing this because she wants to get another reaction from him. She's not gonna be okay without his attention. So she's going in narcissistic fashion. She's gonna do whatever she needs to do to get his attention one way or the other, be it positive or negative. Now she saw that she could get his attention by putting this information out here. It worked. She was able to still have contact with him, even if it was just in court. She was able to see him. She was able to have some type of contact with him, even if he was ignoring her. She was still in his presence. That does something for her. So she's going to find something else to do, and that's why she out here doing this stuff, knowing good and darn well that his attorney, that same attorney that he owe her that $2 million for, that attorney is still on her. He is not playing with her. And he's saying they already got plans right now. So she's just digging herself in a deeper hole. As long as they continue to give her a platform, she will continue to talk unless Jeff gets an injunction. Yeah, she's gonna continue to talk, and I think they're gonna let her dig a hole for herself. Because I think that even with the interview that she did right there, that she said too much. I honestly think that they could try to come after her with that. But I also heard an attorney say that there was some type of laws or statute that they had in Virginia regarding them speaking about a case that is over with. I'm not familiar with it, so don't start me to lying on it, child. I ain't want to tell you no lies. I have to do some research on it myself, but I'm just sitting there feel like you doing too much. I mean, if you want him to leave you alone, this is your chance right here. I promise you, you don't even have to tell Johnny to leave you alone, and he'll leave you alone. I promise he will. I promise. I promise. So, y'all, those are two. It's a lot of other stuff that happened, but I just want to bring y'all those two things. And I might come back with some other stuff on another day. The other thing is, yeah, I have been having to go back and forth to South Carolina. So much stuff that's been um, going on. But let me tell you, um, when I was in my younger years, we had like this youth choir that used to be the bomb, right? And so whenever special events come, like they ask us to come back and come and do a little something. So we're gonna put on this. I guess you can say like a little mini concert on Sunday. Um, all is grown. We grown. We've got kids. We've got grandkids, but we still the youth assembly. So we're gonna be doing a little mini concert. So I'll be back in South Carolina for that. So I'm probably gonna go live on Sunday. If you guys would be interested in seeing what we putting down, because we're taking it back to the old school, and we're gonna put a little new school up in there. But y'all gonna get to see, how we do this stuff in South Cat, because we put it down to the glory. I told them now, y'all singing all these songs, they come give us a list about 12, 15 songs, okay? Um, I told them I'm good for one song and a hand clap to the glory of God, okay? I'm good for one good song and a hand clap to the glory of God. Okay, I would clap for you all day, a hand clap and a good lip movement. But we got to decide which song gonna be the one that we're gonna go all in on. Cause I'm gonna give you that one. But I told I got these COVID lungs now. Okay, so I can't be going and doing 15 songs straight. I can't go and do 15 songs straight. But so yeah, we are going to be doing it. So it's going to be like just it's just been a lot going on, y'all. Baby showers, bridal showers, weddings, um, just a lot going on. But I'm gonna bring that to y'all Sunday. Hopefully, I can get someone to maybe I get my brother to do it to do the a live for me while we're getting that done. It's gonna be awesome. I think y'all are going to enjoy it. YouTube, they might hit me up since we playing songs that are on the radio. So let me give you a sample of some of the songs that we're gonna be singing. And I'm gonna get, you know what? I'm not, because YouTube gonna hit me over the head for the song. Y'all find out Sunday if y'all watch. Okay. Um. So y'all check out that Danielle Redlick and Michael Redlick, that Danielle Redlick trial. That's the trial I was talking about earlier. Again, we're on jury watch. I don't think the jury is going to take long. I don't think they're going to take as long as they did for the Johnny Depp trial. I could be wrong. Um, Welcome back, Butterflyness. Welcome back. I don't think they're going to take as long. Again, if you would like to become a certified dime, feel free to hit that join button. We still in there like skinwear. We in there like skinwear. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the Shazamo. That ain't even sound right, but I'm gonna make it work. Shazamo. Try subscribe to the channel. That's it. And don't forget to hit like on the video. Um, so we Danielle Redlick. The stuff that's still going on, Amber. So y'all be on the lookout for the final, like the full interview of Amber, and watch her going at the plum food again. Okay. Um. Oh my goodness, we had a lot of stuff that happened here in Georgia. Um. Oh my goodness. They had so many shootings, y'all. Just so, uh, Chad, what is that? Oh. But yeah, a lot going on here. So yeah, I'm gonna keep you guys. Boy, that's a Georgia bug right there, boy. That is a Georgia bug. Bump Georgia peaches. Y'all need to see these Georgia bugs, okay? Okay, but anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Shout out to Teresa. I didn't see her in here tonight, but whenever you watch it, shout out to you, Teresa. I did get your message, and that was my motivation to come on today. So shout out to you, and thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the interaction, because I love to interact with my folks. So thank y'all for interacting. I want y'all to come back and bring me the scoop on this trial, especially you, Tori, now that you done went. I want to see what you got to say about this, because there's a whole lot of going on with that thing, child. They're definitely going to make a movie out of that. If they don't make a movie out of it, I mean, I would be completely surprised if that doesn't become a movie, because you can't make that stuff up. Like, for real. You cannot make that stuff up. Other than that, y'all make sure y'all tell people if they need a break from all the buffoonery and all the stuff that's going on. Tell them to come on over to the channel. Stop on by. This got a breath of fresh air without all the stuff that's going on. So if you feel like you need a little something to break the monotony, then tell folks to come on over and check out the channel and come and take a little seat. Cop squat. Come and cop squat for a while. Take shoes off. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. That gray hair starting to peek through. If y'all didn't get anything out of this video, I want y'all to remember one thing. Y'all know how I gotta end this thing. If you don't get nothing else out of this, regardless of what's going on in this world, regardless of what's going on in these YouTube streets, regardless of what is going on around you, mind your business. Don't involve yourself in stuff if it doesn't involve you. Mind your business. Your fight is not everybody else's fight. Everybody else's fight is not your fight. Mind your business. That's all I'm saying. And when you get finished doing that, mind it some more. Trust me. You'll thank me later. But that being said, y'all have a good one. Good night, Hildeland. Good night, y'all. I'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll see you guys Sunday. Bye.